Hello. Happy Saturday. How are you? How are you? Got the binding attachment out. Got some binding. How are you? I didn't check the sound. Is it okay? What do you guys think about the intro being missing all month long? Has that been okay? What's in my pocket? Oh, nothing's in my pocket. Weird. Hi, Kim. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Christina. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Terry. Hi, Aisha. How's it going? Yep, all good. Okay, cool. You can hear me okay. If there hasn't been an update, I can kind of go. You're okay with it? Yeah. I mean, I know you guys probably don't need a reminder, but there has been a lot of new people this month, so you never know. Why is it getting warm? It's supposed to be chilly today. The weather's been so crazy here. All right, so today's kind of a, you didn't even notice, that's funny. Well, the sound is missing for the first few seconds. Someone kindly told me, and I didn't know that, because I can't hear it when I play it for you guys. It's muted for me. So I would only hear it if I was watching my stream on YouTube, and I watch in a different window. So, bummer, Kathleen, but it'll be good afterward. Hi, Julie. And then I decided that I would rather it not be there than be like that, like broken like that. And I haven't been able to fix it, but my new computer's all set up now. So I just need to really like hope that all of my editing files will just populate in the software. It probably won't. So hi, Hillary, how's it going? I need to put my fan on. We have a long day. It's kind of funny because I actually was chilly. I brought a hoodie today. The high's going to be 70. Hi, Terry. How's it going? All right, so I gave you a little peek about this bag. So the deal with this bag is that I have like 2 more patterns I know for sure I want to do. I know you don't come to me for patterns, but it makes me happy to have them out in the world. One is the tool case, the quickie, which is coming out soon. And then this is my other one. I've wanted to release this for longer than almost everything else. But then the panini happened and no one was traveling. So I just put it on the back burner. I thought last year I could get to it, but I couldn't. So this is a travel bag I did as a limited edition thing as chicken boots. And so here's the opening. I'll just go through it quickly since a lot of you are here. It just has a Velcro opening and then a hook so you can hang it up, you know, like when you're traveling, right? Hang it up on like a shower door or a robe hook or something. I have massive amounts of boxes to get rid of for my computer. And this is just a little piece of elastic that it hooks to so it stays out of the way. And then there are double pockets here, which are going to be really fun for you guys to see how they're sewn because it's kind of this order of operations thing. But at the top here, there's one. And it's behind this one right here. So here's another one. Oops, that was already open, right? So you have 2 layers of pockets. So you can kind of do like the stuff you hopefully won't need, like the emergency medicine or whatever can be back there, or maybe something you don't want showing. You can even make this in not vinyl so you can't see in there. And then maybe something you would want more accessible. And then this one here also is a zippered pocket, but it only has 1 zipper head. But I sew down the middle so you have 2 pockets, which anyone could do, or they could leave that off, right? You can customize, you could do that with these too. But you would be going through all the pockets. So, and then down here is kind of the main compartment. So we included a little bag, a removable bag, because I always find that sometimes sometimes, you know, like when you're sharing a bathroom with like all your gal pals and you don't have room for all your stuff in a small bathroom. Maybe this is out in the room with you, but you can just carry this into the bathroom or something. And this was always my like shampoo and lotion and stuff, right? And I line this with Cordura. This is a Cordura lining, so it's cute on the outside, but has a waterproof inside. Waterproof. And this is all Cordura as well. It's Cordura with like a kiss coat. And then we just use the accents. So financially, this is a very affordable bag. It just has a lot of binding in it. It has 3 elastic pockets right here. And then this is kind of the large compartment where I can put this. If you use full size shampoo bottles, you might find that this is too short, right? Because this is the height of it, right? So what is that? That's like 9 inches. Yes, corduroy with a kiss coat, exactly. And then the last pocket's this little guy right here for the things you get the most often. So the only fabric you need is right here behind this pocket. And there's one behind this pocket, which you honestly could skip if you wanted. There's none here. And then here. So there's very little fabric, which is kind of nice. You know, it keeps it a little easier to get the materials. Cordura is obviously, you could also use like a waxed canvas. I think you'd be much happier making this in something waterproof. And Cordura is really affordable. And the kiss coat gives it it makes it unravel less. It's very affordable. It comes in a pretty decent array of colors. The waterproofness will help, right? Like, it helps a little bit. I don't think you'd want to do this in something that doesn't have more body, you know, like a cotton canvas. So, oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm going to use my binder. Yeah. Yeah. Can you, if you like binding, Monica, yes. I think that's the only thing. It's all straight steams. What's really cool about this is if you were ever in the chicken boots world, you'll remember this one product that I still get asked to make called the pumpkin pouch, named for some friends I used to have that have this cross-stitch company called Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I named it after them because I designed it for needle workers, like cross-stitch and things. And it was just kind of in honor of them for inspiring me. But it was a ton of work to make it. Ton of work, and it was sold for like over $100. So, or maybe it wasn't over $100. I don't think we ever had anything that expensive. Huh? Either or what? Quilts, tension for quilt sandwiches. I don't know what that's in response to. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So when we did the pumpkin pouch, it had stiffener in it, which complicates things. But when we came around to this design, it suddenly clicked how I could sew this a little easier. So honestly, this goes together really nicely, and there's no like tricky turning inside out. There's no stiffener. So I know I'm selling you on this design, but it's not even out yet. But it's just something I like hearing you guys' feedback. There's no tricky closures. It just needs a loop. This is ribbon with some Velcro, and you could use 2 rows of narrow Velcro, or this is wide Velcro. A little webbing handle so you can carry it around. You could even add a little pouch on the front. You can make this a zippered pouch, put a zippered pouch here. You could add to it really easily because it's all flat, you know. So when you see it today, this is one piece with the cotton on it. I wouldn't use cotton canvas on it. You know why? Because we're dirty. We are very dirty. All of the stuff we carry gets on your bag, right? And if you wear makeup, forget it, right? So, and plus you're like schlepping it around, right? So I think that if you don't want to have to wash it and you don't want to see like little bits of dirt on it, I think it's better just to use something that's a little more sturdy. No, you don't have to sell it. It's fabulous. You don't have to sell it. The only concern is that Velcro tends to pick up threads, and there's a risk of it picking up sort of. Yeah, but on this thing, you're really not going to be using it on your clothes, and you can just close it when it's not in use. But and then when you have it cinched, because I hate Velcro for that too, Christina. It's completely covered. There's no exposed Velcro. And the way I sew it, I put the hook on this side right here. So this is the loop side. That's the loop side's facing out. So even if it did get on you. You know, the problem with Velcro is Vans shoes. I don't know who decided to put the Velcro on Vans shoes with the loop on the outside, because my shoes look like awful. They're all full. It needs to be easily cleaned, yeah. And this just works. I have never washed mine. It needs to be washed, I'm sure. So yeah. So anyway, I was just going to run through like the way you put this together is this is one piece right here with the little strip of fabric, right? Easy peasy. You don't even have to bind it if you want. You can just turn under the edge and top stitch it down, right? Exactly, Julie. Fake tan and foundation. Lipstick, blush. And then in here, we're going to put all these pockets on flat to this piece too. And this little elastic pocket on this, so now it's flat. And then we assemble this guy here. We put this on here when this is flat, and then we do the corners. Actually, I want to reach in here and feel, yeah. And then these little corners, very easy to do. Bind the top, and then we line up this little assembly to the bottom here, and then we bind the perimeter. Boom, it's done. So it's flat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. No, it isn't an issue because, I mean, I definitely have traveled a ton. I've traveled a ton with all my hand knit sweaters, and I've traveled buying yarn and filling my suitcase with yarn. But as long as you cover it up, it's fine. And like I said, this right here is the loop, and this is the hook. Hook faces that way. So you could do, you could tie it, you know, you could just put like a piece of ribbon here and tie it shut too. That would totally work. Or, Christina, you could do a snap. The only issue with the snap is your loop would have to be large enough to slip this through. But you could do something maybe even without this so that you, like maybe a ribbon loop. Like if this was just a little piece of binding. I can come up with 10 different closures for you. We'll be here all day. If you had a little loop here, this went through your loop with a snap on it and it snapped on itself, that's an option as well. So there's lots of options. We didn't have that many options because we had to do it really quick. So yeah, this is a really great gift. It looks more complicated, exactly. So yeah, once we figured out how to sew it this way, I really wanted to revisit the pumpkin pouch and make it that way, but I never got around to it. All right, so I wish I could hang this here because I'm going to need to look at it. All right, so I am going to cheat and use my binding attachment today since I'm trying to remember how to sew it together. And this is why I'm doing this today, is I kind of want to remember how it goes together, and I want to start just kind of keeping it in the back of my mind and just seeing what I think about it, you know what I mean? So I'm going to get the binding attachment all fired up here. I would also like to make a larger version, but man, when you start making it larger, even 10% larger, I was like, God, you know, making that like 2 inches wider, which would be like 20% larger, that's a lot. That's a big honking thing to put into your suitcase. So maybe you make some accompanying bags for some of the things. Okay, I need to focus here. What am I doing wrong? There we go, I got it. Okay, let's see. So this is just a little, like, I don't know, this thing's cheap, $30 attachment to do binding. Let's see here. I got that tight enough on there. Are you winding? Okay, good. Just checking my bobbin winder. So we're gonna start binding some things right off the bat. We're gonna make one for Cricket. I texted her the other day and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be making this bag. Do you want one? And here's my fabric choices. So I'm gonna use again this little mushroom and bee print. It's really cute. So this is the outer of the bag. I don't like it when my binding goes between the toes of my foot. Just move it over just a smidge again. I'm going to make this look really easy using the binding attachment. It's vibrating a lot. There we go. The front's bound. And then we're going to attach it to, which one is which? I actually just ironed this because it was so wrinkled and I lost my marking. I lost my marking on it. I have two pieces, so I don't know which one's which. So let's see. This has a center notch. And does it have corner notches? Does it have corner notches? No. So it is this one. Center notch. Does it have the 3 notches at the bottom? One. Okay, maybe it is the other one. Center. Oh, it doesn't have corner notches. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's like this. Okay, cool. So this is the outside, right? Yep. And see my smiley face? My universal symbol for this is right side up. And then when it's on the other side, it goes a different way. All right, so we have our notch here, right? Yep, okay. And then we just need the notch for the handle. That's what I lost. I lost my chalk marking there. Or it was a wax crayon. You want this on Cricut? I'm so glad Cricut likes getting, you know, things. She's a good sport. All right. Oh, and so let's move this out of the way. And we're just to edge stitch this on there. This is purely decorative, not even, it's not even essential, except that it is, right? Yeah, see, I don't like when my binding goes up between the toes of my foot. I'll just awkwardly do this with the binding attachment in the way. What's that? There we go. Oh, that binding's really cute with it. Oh, wait, you need a binding attachment. I know people use this on regular machines and they use ticky-tacky. What's ticky-tacky called? The putty? And you can just stick it on there or they tape it on there. Yeah, and I do. I have a little screw hole. Should warn you when I'm going to yoink that down. So see right here. This tape is only here to hold my screw to this when I'm not using it so I don't lose the screw. But this is all you have to do to install it. Is put it in one of these 2 screw holes. This is a screw holding this to the machine. This is receptacles for attachments. And then once I get it on here, I get it almost like I fingertip tight, and then I can slide this over. It does, Aisha. I can use this exact same thing. Well, let's move this over where we want it. So yeah. And I usually put the little folder, like you can't kind of see. I put the folder just past the where my needle is going in the hole there. So the fold of my edge of my binding. So I put it just past, and that's kind of, you know, you got to play around with that. And I just pulled it away a little bit. So that's a little too far in, but see this little fold edge is not going between the toes of my binding attachment, which is kind of bugging me. So I used to have a binding machine, and it was permanently set up and calibrated for this, and it was a much different binding attachment. But this works really good. So see it's creeping up between the toes. I don't know if you can see that. It's creeping up. It's so annoying. That's because of the toe of my foot. I really wish they made a foot that wasn't open toe. Same with my TL. I wish it had a non-open toe. There probably is one that I can put on. But anyway, it's something to think about. So, all right. All right, so we just need the handle on this. I'm using darking thread. I think that'll be fine. She won't know. How did I do this? Let's look at where these notches are. Oh, that's the, really? I think that maybe we did this. This is further apart than that right there, than those notches. Like much further apart. It's like right here. So let's go like right here. There and right there. Yeah, sure. I've done streams with it. I just don't want to, I know like it's not ideal for everybody, so I don't want to bog you guys down with stuff. So I'm not melting my ends, but I will enclose them. And so what I usually do is I'll stitch it down first. Can you even see that? You can't. Sorry. We won't always be on black today. A little awkward. And then I pull it over really firmly and enclose it. Oh, you can't see any. Cordura. It's like a nylon fabric that has, it comes in different weights. This right here is 500 denier. But you can get it in lighter weights. And yeah, it's a brand name. Thank you for saying that. That's true. I usually put both sides on first, like this, right sides together, and I forgot to do that over here. It's abrasion resistant. It's very affordable too. You know, I wonder if a lot of people would call this pack cloth. Would I call it pack cloth? I don't know, that looks kind of long. It's kind of long. So it's like a 1/2 inch further over and much shorter. It's not bad, it's just not the same as it was before, so we need to look at that. See, this is why we're test sewing it. You just never know what happened. This is my pattern, you guys. This is the state, oh, you can't even see that, but this is the state that it was in. This is my notions list. And those are my instructions. That's it. And then we moved on because it was a limited edition thing. I didn't spend time making it perfect, and no one else made it but us, so we didn't have to worry about someone else touching it. All right, so we can set this aside now. And now we can do a bunch of binding. So we have the little notions case on the front. So let's do that and get our kind of legs under us and start thinking about that kooky pocket at the top. Oh, sorry, it's so bright. I feel like I did pretty good with that pattern, considering it was one and done. But I also think I cut and sewed all of them. I don't think Rayanne had to do them at all because it didn't make sense for her to have to stop what she was doing sometimes and completely learn a whole new product if we weren't going to do it ever again. Unless she wanted to. She was like, that looks really fun to sew. I want to sew it. I'm like, by all means, lady. You know? Yeah, we all doodle this like that. Exactly. Yeah. It's like a recipe, you know? All right, so this goes here, and now we're going to put the zipper on. We're making a little notions case. I used a lot of the exact same techniques on everything we did for good reason. All right, and then we'll go here. So now my binding machine won't do this, so we'll set this aside and we'll finish this later once we get all of our machine binding done, which we're about to have done. So, all right, so this is how this goes. This is the top thing. No binding happens on you. All right, and I numbered these. So number 1, bind this edge. Okay. So this right here is, you know, I'm using this new, to me, YouTube channel to do weightlifting. And the channel name is Mr. and Mrs. Muscle, all one word, and I love it. And I love their video format. I love everything about it. And one of the things that I love about it is in the bottom left corner, you'll see a human, and the muscle groups are highlighted on it, what you're working out right now. And wouldn't that be cool? Like I could have the bag sitting there in the corner, and it's like, you know, this right here is what's highlighted. This is what we're going to bind right now. You know, it would be kind of nice. All right, so we're going to do the bottom is number 1. Let's hope Saremy was thinking straight last night when she wrote this list. Okay, it's 1. Number 2, bind, then sew zip to this edge. Bind. Then sew zip to this edge. Let's pull off a zipper here. I already got all my sliders on here. I love this fabric as binding. Oh. Okay. How's the lighting? Would you guys like it a little brighter and closer? You're fine, Allie. No wonder. No worries. No wonder. No wonder. You don't need to start from the beginning, honestly. Hey, Viddy, how's it going? I love the pattern from your episode. It's not a pattern out yet. I'm glad you like it, though. And Cordura, does Cordura have another name? It is a brand name, but it's like a abrasion-resistant nylon. Like something you would see a backpack made from, like a JanSport backpack. Okay, so we have this. All right, so zip to this edge. All right, done. This is something I did a really long time ago, this pattern. Bind with under pocket and elastic. Okay, so now we have this one done here. And I think we put the zipper here too. Nope, we don't. Okay, so now this one we'll set aside for now. That's this little pocket right here at the bottom. Okay. All right, and then now we're going to do bind with the under pocket. So now we're getting into this assembly, this upper pocket assembly right here. And so we're going to do these 2 layers together. I'm just making sure the glare is the same on both. It's non-glare, but one side is slightly shinier. So I'm going to do both of these pockets together. No ooching. Okay. And now we're going to bind, then add the zip to this edge. Okay. I'm loving these directions. They're so good. I'm almost done. Then we're going to add a zip. Making sure all my sliders go the same way. Okay. All right. So now that we've did this, okay, now we bind with top pocket. Okay, we did that. Bind with top vinyl and zip. Okay, wait. Okay, so this is here. Wait, okay, so now we have, this is done. So this will just set on top of this one and stitch down when we put it to the bag, right? So we have this, and then I'm here. So how do I do this one? Oh, okay. So I think I bind these two together and put a zip. Yes. Okay. We bind these two together. I feel like this was a bag that really got to scratch a lot of my technical design skills, you know, that itch, which was nice. All right, and our last zipper goes to here. Okay, so there's our zipper assembly there, and then this goes to this, and this, and so look, we have a pocket back here, we have a pocket right here, and when we stitch this down, we can stitch it to the fabric. All right. Oh, I did forget something. I forgot the elastic right here. Okay. Yeah, right? I'm almost to assembling it. Okay, so right here, I need to take out a few stitches and add my little piece of elastic. I'm really sorry the fabrics are so dark. I can lighten it up more if you guys need, just say the word. I don't know what your monitor or TV looks like. And I've learned a little bit about monitors since the last few days. And I know mine's kind of dim. Wait, isn't this what I just took out? Did I take the wrong one out? This is what I took out, right? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Get rid of that. Slip this in here for our hook eventually. Put that in there. It's not a heavy duty ask for that little thing, so this will be enough sewing for it. Okay, so now we have our little loop. And now we just need we can set this aside. Get our other piece of black. Let me brighten it up a little bit. Yep, the loop. All right, so, oh, this is terrible. I'm so sorry. Are you gonna do anything, computer? I'm sorry. All right, so we have this piece right here. Oh, this needed to get bound inside this right here. Okay, okay, we need to write this down. So this gets in step, this gets in with step number 4. Okay, this one should have gone with number 4. Good to know, good to know. Okay. Tesso. All right. Yeah, I mean, you know, so what I can do is just take off this little piece of binding here. And look, I can do this and this all at once. And then see that piece of fabric will be back here. And then this gets attached to the top of the thing. So the best thing about this binding attachment is when you make a mistake and you take it out, it's only one row of stitching. So when you take it out, it's done. You know, like, it's pretty easy. The only issue when you're doing vinyl is that you don't really want to stitch it, you know, over and over again because the vinyl gets perforated. But I've never had anything rip off of vinyl, ever. And we tested things. I was always surprised when people would get new fabrics and not test them, like for a year. We tested stuff like you wouldn't believe. Okay, now we can add this behind. Get rid of a lot of these threads here. Cricket would 100% be on to me if I didn't do this. She wouldn't notice. Okay, I think one of these vinyl pieces had a notch too. Really rare that we would notch vinyl. So I'm going to notch the center for my little fabric, or my elastic bit here. And we'll just slip this in here. We'll clip it, even if it's roughly where it needs to be. All right, now we can bind this edge. Everything's still okay. The binding attachment is a champ. It'll definitely bind all these layers. I need to hold the elastic. Let me screw this tighter. I had to slide it over a little bit. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Cool pocket assembly. All right, so now let me find which end this goes on, because I don't remember. So this is right here. This is the inside. What is the, oh, this is for the, okay, got it. Okay, I know what this is, okay. Who designed this thing? This has 2 chalked marks as well, because this denotes the divisions of the pocket. Did you see that fall off my soapstone pencil? What was that? I don't want to lose it. It was like a little cap that goes to the top of my soapstone pencil. All right, so there we go. So now this guy goes up here, and we just line it up to the top. No big deal. And we slip this one under here, and we stitch it down. And we're almost done with the, we are done with the binding attachment. So we can just move that aside, I think. I hope so. I don't think there's anything else. You lost yours too? Yeah. I don't want to lose that thing. I feel like it's the kind of thing that would crumble too. This is my fancy screw leash. All right, at least now that's out of the way. So now I have it lined up here. And we'll lay this underneath this edge. And we're gonna do, actually what we could do is make this a little easier. Just tack it in a few places. We still need to add the binding. Oh, I could have used the binding attachment to make the little tether for the hook. Oh well, I can still attach it on there. All right, so now let's lay this on here so it won't get wonky now. I have a little torquing, do you see that in my binding there? That's kind of a bummer. Let's see if I can finesse it a little bit. I didn't sew my binding together using the green thread. And I totally lied to myself and said I wouldn't notice. I totally notice. Look, I have two seams right here. Look at, there's white stitches right there. All right, so this pocket, we're just gonna stitch down on the bottom. And now we can divide it as well. So let's do a little division here. There we go. There's our upper case. Nice. I'm gonna check my bobbin. Good thing I did. I had a feeling. I knew I didn't have a whole lot on this one. You guys thought I was going to be here for 2 hours today, didn't you? I used to production sew this, you guys. I know it can't be more than 25 minutes to make on a good day, if I know what I'm doing. That's the rule. All right, I'm going to trim this up here. We're all the way over there. I'm kind of surprised this doesn't fit, so I need to make a note of that too. And we'll curve this. And curve this. All right, so let's make our binding loop. Of all the things that you have to sew sometimes with binding, this is worth having the attachment for. If you have to make like binding ties, I hate having to do that without an attachment, so it's worth putting back on. Hopefully it'll be worth putting back on. We'll see. If Cricket has replied to your texts before she's replied to mine, you can definitely have it. All the parents out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, Terry, yeah. Maybe this won't be worth fiddling with. Yep, we were very planned out. Like Shem on steroids, if you guys know the reference. Definitely planned out. Everything, I had spreadsheets that would even do, they had like macros built in. So like say we were planning our fall. I just need like, what, 5 or 6 inches of this? Yeah, something like 6 inches. So from here, there's a seam in this. That's why I couldn't get that going. So I'm just sacrificing it. But yeah, like say we we're planning for the next season. Oh shoot, it flipped. All right, I'm done with this thing. And like, you know, it just depended, like, was that fabric going to require a black zipper or cream zipper? We only had 2 colors. We weren't fancy because we just sewed so much. And so what thread color it took in general, right? So all that kind of thing would be in a spreadsheet. And then I would go through all the fabrics. I could show you the spreadsheet. I still have them somewhere in my computer. And so I can't do this and talk about that. But so this is what our spreadsheet would be like. I'd pull it up, and say for fall 2024, like right now I would be making that, because we cut it really close with our seasons, because the fabric vendors never sold fabric for seasons a year and a half in the future. They always sold fabric for the season they delivered in, which was such a pain in the butt. So coming from the fashion industry, when we were buying fabric 3 years in advance or 2 years in advance, you would get your fabric, you would have a year and a half to do your whole production season, right, for your whole thing, because then when it starts shipping and hitting the stores, it's in the season, it's delivering, and you need time beforehand to manufacture it. Whereas little old me, doing only whatever it was, you know, 7,000 to 10,000 items a year, we were small potatoes. We didn't buy from vendors like that. We bought from the fabrics that people saw because they liked them, right? They knew about these fabrics. So I had to buy these. These were the cool fabrics. They were the whatever. Anyway, so I'm buying I have 6 groups. Fall, we would do 6 groups. We would have 3 fabrics for each group. And I would decide which fabrics were going to be the best sellers. And so I would kind of pick like, okay, these 3 I think are going to go really well. We rarely gave sneak peeks because people are awful. And I would sometimes use it to help me gauge, but it was way too far in advance to show them that, and then we'd get harassed. So I would pick the best sellers, and I would say, all right, that means on this one, we're going to order this much fabric, and so this is a 120 yard buy, and then the smaller ones would be more like a 75 yard buy, meaning 75 yards of the main fabric, 70 yards of the lining, and 75 of the binding. I would get the binding in immediately, cut off 5 yards, and send the rest of it to the binding maker, and they would make it on those rolls and send it back to me really quickly, actually, like within a week or 2. It was crazy, right? So then in that spreadsheet, I would go, okay, I'd have to name the groups and then decide what products we were making it, usually all of them. And then when I put, okay, we have 120 yards, we knew how many we could get from that by cutting at a certain ratio. So we would cut everything at a ratio. So say like we would cut 1 project bag for every 3 DPN cases, 6 wristlets, and 20 notions cases. And so that's how we would trace the pieces on the paper before we would cut it. We would do a ratio because we cut everything at one time, which is really risky because say all of a sudden everyone's like, you know, because some fabrics may be the cutest fabric of the group, but they look better in certain things than other things. So, and your ratios don't account for that. And cutting in itself is like a whole complicated thing because you can't cut all your fabrics exactly the same way because they don't come, even from the same vendor, they don't come all the same widths, and the motifs won't line up. And so if you're aiming for like a cute sloth, you have to cut those by hand, meaning by themselves. We cut everything by hand, but we used a stack cutter. Is this too much detail? But in the spreadsheet, then I would know, okay, for a 120 yard group, that means we're going to be doing 96 of these, 400 of these, 300 of that, 200 of this. And then it would automatically calculate how much findings, notions I needed for each of those. And then if it carried over, all those different groups would add up, and I would go, okay, I need 5,000 yards of zipper. That also means I need 10,000 zipper sliders. This means I need 150 yards of elastic. All that kind of thing would carry out because we would feel rich with notions, and And then we would get that and go, oh, okay, we need to order this. And some things weren't a big deal because we could just get them, we could place an order, and then it would come within the month. Other things was like a 3-month lead time, like zipper. Zipper was hands down the most frustrating thing for me because, okay, good. The zipper for me, so just a backstory on zipper. When I used to work at Kokatat, the water sportswear manufacturer, they were very kind to me. And when I wasn't there, they would let me piggyback on their orders. And so I could call the purchaser and say, hey, do you mind if I add to your zipper order? Because it helped them as well. I tell you, cut this way to get the most. Oh, yeah, Allie, we had to. We couldn't stop and just keep cutting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly, Aisha, yeah. You could make it, but you're cutting and sewing one. Have fun. So yeah, so I would use use Kokatat to help me because YKK doesn't just let anybody buy from them. It didn't matter that I was buying and making minimums at some companies. YKK was like, we don't care. And it took me years to become a wholesale vendor under YKK. It was the only one that waited a few years to allow me to do it. And I didn't ask them all the time. Admittedly, I didn't ask them all the time. Just finding a rep was hard. So the problem with the zipper on top of this is that at the time, there were strikes happening in the Bay Area. This was a long time ago, and which they happen a lot. And what would happen is the zipper coil chain came from Japan and the sliders came from America. And they would start like holding back. So there'd be issues in Japan with the manufacturing, there'd be issues with shipping. And then Kokatat would be like, sorry, we can't give you zipper. We're literally hand to mouthing it over here with zippers. And it was really bad. Like I would call and be like, can I have 100 sliders, please? And they're like, no, we can give you 50. 50 wouldn't even be enough for a week's worth of orders at that time, and I was tiny. So eventually, things got fixed in manufacturing, things got fixed in the strikes, and eventually I got my own rep, and I could just order anytime I wanted. But the shipping cost and the lead time would make it so that you would have to kind of plan, right? Here's the other thing with Zipper by the Yard is you may be getting a huge 200-yard bundle of it, but how many sliders do you need for that bundle? So you were always kind of like, okay, last time we ordered 5,000 sliders and it looks like we still have half of our order left, but we're out of coil chain. This time let's double our coil chain and not order sliders, things like that. So that was always something you had to plan for. So yes, we planned a lot. To answer your question, I'm sorry it took so long. So that's why I say, like, anytime you would add a new finding, it was so easy for people to say, you know what you should do, or you should just do this, or, you know, these are really cute bags, why aren't you making those? Well, first of all, that's not my design, that's their design. And I'm really strict about things like that, whereas most people aren't. I designed everything we made, and that's not the case for most bag makers. They're using the same clutch or tote, and it's super cute, and it showcases the fabric great, but that wasn't my style. Like, I made my own things. So the planning was the most fun part for me, and if I were to say, if I could have gotten a job, I didn't know this was a thing, that you can get a job in something called logistics. That would be my jam. Like I'm the kind of person that can go, okay, these are coming at this rate, and these are coming at this rate. I can slip this in here, and then they'll all be done at the same time. I'm really, really good at that, like managing the flow of things in manufacturing and finding bottlenecks and solving things like repeated issues. We're always having this issue on this, you know, and I love it. I love that stuff. So yeah, we planned. Sorry. I love talking manufacturing. I wish I had more people to talk about. I have this manufacturing series on here that is, it's like, they're hour-long videos, and they're very full of information if you want to get nerdy and you want to listen to me talk about it. But I just did it while it was still fresh in my mind. There were ones I never did because I just felt like no one really cares about this but me. But even just doing those videos, I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this, you know, and it had only been a year since I stopped. So, yeah, right, Elizabeth? I think that'd be really cool. And I don't really know what that job is, but like, I remember one time seeing a little video of one of those seaports with all like shipping containers coming in, and how they planned how the shipping containers, like where, because you know they have to stack them, and they have to stack them in a way that allows people to access their containers at the right time. And I watched that 1 minute video like 20 times. I was like, oh, I love this. So, yeah. The instructor testing like that. Okay, cool. Oh, really, Aisha? Interesting. Yeah, I was talking all the time. No, like there would be times, there were so many, I wish Rayanne was here to be telling you guys, oh God, you guys, we would run out of things. It wasn't very often, like we ran out of things regularly, but we didn't run out of like everything all at once. It was sometimes we would be like, how do we not know we were out of these, you know? So it's supply chain management. Oh, interesting, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I liked it a lot. It was fun. It was very fun. All right, so this is the little pocket, little elastic pocket here. And I'm supposed to serge this edge, but the serger's over there. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to make a little casing here, and we'll lose a little height. That's just how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles, Julie. On your little bag here. No. This fabric is the what's the recycled canvas from Spoonflower called? I think that's what it's called, right? Recycled canvas. It's weird. It is a weird. It's a little like sewing a sponge. Can you see like it stays fluffed up? Like when I was folding it over like this. It is, look at how fluffy it is. Anyway. Aisha does know cool people. I totally agree with you. Okay, I'm gonna get my little loop turner. And I just put my elastic in here. Let's hope I made the casing wide enough, but narrow enough we didn't lose too much height of the bag. Oh yeah, I think we'll be okay. All right, so we're gonna get it all the way to the end. Always dicey, you don't want to go too far. And then we'll sew across. And then pull it the rest of the way. And it should be the width of the bag. This fabric acts a lot different than the quilting cotton we used. So I have to cinch it up more. It's kind of ironic that you need a shorter piece of elastic sometimes. There we go. All right. So we have our little marks right here. Leo's fabric it just shreds. Hey Chippy, how's it going? Nice. Good for you. All right, so do I have a little notch over here? I don't. Okay. Do I have one here? Okay, so we're gonna rely on the center notch then. I don't like it when it goes like this, you know. So. And I think I just I don't remember how to do this. I think that I just pleat this here. It's not a big deal, whatever happens down here at the bottom. That's not as important. All right, and so then here, get this, and we'll pleat this. We need to line up our notches though. Okay, and then notch to the mark up here at the top. Sorry, Bumblebee. And same with this one here. Sorry, it's so bright. This fabric is so cute in person. It's kind of a shame it's so terrible on the camera. All right, so there's our that's our thing done. So there we go, right? And we need now to do this little notions case here. So we're gonna hand bind. Oh, I didn't put my bobbin back on. Not that we're gonna run out, but let's be responsible bobbin owners. Should we put a label on? What label should we put on? Let's see. Do I have something fun? Maybe I'll just put, oh, this one clashes though. I was gonna say made with love since it's for Cricut. She'd probably be like, no, I want your label, not that. Oh well. All right, we're gonna bind the perimeter of the notions case. Again, if I put the like zipper ends at the end of the zipper, like ribbon, then I could use my binding attachment, but I don't want to lose any length of my zipper. This fabric really likes to unravel. Is this too much binding for you guys? Oh, I have a pole. Hey, Terry, do you have the ability to make a pole as a mod? Are you still here? Are you like near, or are you like eating or something, or cooking, I mean? Mods, run a poll. Still here? Okay, cool. For me, it is there's a little plus sign next to the chat window, and it says engage with your audience, start a Q&A or a poll. Oh my gosh, there's a huge thread in here. It's okay if not. I thought you'd enjoy it though. You got to get those things out of there now or forever hold your peace. They'll be immortalized. Look at that bee. You don't see that? Okay, cool. I'll do it. I have a quick poll for you guys. So everybody that's not near, they're just listening. Can you get close or get your phone out and answer the poll there? You're on your thing. Okay, I have a quick poll. And I want you to just answer instinctually with which one is the one you think of first when you think of this item, okay? I know this is somewhat regional, but I'm making my thumbnails next week and I'm just kind of curious. All right, so which one do you think of when you see this word? Pick one. All right, and then this is going to go right here at the top like this, and we're going to stitch it down. Oh yeah, okay. A lot of Americans in the chat today. So this is going to give me another question. How many people? Only 14 votes so far, but there's only 32 people here. So that's actually a pretty good rate. 50% of you voted. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's see. How did I do this? I did this, but I know I can do this so that they are clean finished. Maybe I didn't worry about it. Oh yeah, I think I can do it like, wait, let me think about this. I don't want to make it harder. Hi, Rachel, how's it going? We have a poll going on, Rachel. Which one resonates with you? So I'm just making the corners of that like the front compartment. And what I was kind of wondering how to do was to tether them together so, you know, so they don't separate. I hate linings I obviously hate linings that kind of bag out a little bit. Ooh, Europeans are showing up. So if I attach these together, it will prevent them from shifting. It's not really that important with this, so maybe I shouldn't worry about it so much, honestly. I'm going to offset the seams. This is a pretty good vote rate. Anyone out of town right now? Like, are you guys, any of you, like, out of town for Memorial Day weekend and you're watching? All right, and then my other question related to the serger overlock is, if you are someone who prefers the word overlock and you're searching for help with your overlock, do you also search for things with serger in it? I've wondered this for years, like literally years I've wondered this. And I'm not really thinking, I am paying attention to that for like my own like search stuff, but I think that YouTube's pretty smart and is going to serve you up what you want anyway. Okay, so we're just going to bind this. We only have like 2 steps left, if you can believe it. You know what? I think this bag took us more like, I want to say this bag took us 35 minutes. That's what I remember. Not 25. The most complicated things we did would have taken 25 minutes. Still search overlock, but searching seemed to provide results for both. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Chippy. I feel like even when I'm in Canva, which is like an online graphic design program, right? It's kind of a cheesy way to design stuff, but I love it. If I search for serger, it'll give me things. It'll give me overlock items as well, and same with the other way. If I search overlock, I get serger. I get the exact same items, a lot of the same things. And in fact, I think serger did provide more results though. But it is, you know, I am in America. I don't know where Canva is based. I don't think it's based in America, but it knows I'm here. All right, look at that cute little pocket. I love this binding. This was a good binding. You don't understand. Binding's my thing, man. Oh, the little like alternating pops of flower color. Goals, man, that's what you look for. Okay, so now we have our internal pockets. Let's compare. We need our hook to our binding thing. Yeah, that's fair, Allie. Yeah, I mean, that's good you know to do that. I think we have everything. So where's that strip of the binding I made earlier with the binding attachment? Here it is. It's in the garbage. Perfect. So I just take this little guy here and, oh my God, that just freaked me out. Something just flew up and fluttered over there, and it's because of the fan. Yeah. All right, we're just gonna slip knot this guy here. I had a really particular way of doing this so that it laid nice and flat. And then it goes on the inside. Where's the notch? Did I trim it off by accident? Nope, there it is right there. Okay. Right here. Remember I was telling you about how that sometimes people would get upset with our, oh, this is way too long. That would be good to know. Oh, you know what? I can just shorten this. That's what it is. I didn't measure this. This is way too long though. I don't know why it's that long. We need to change that too. But we're not going to sew that for a third time. Nope. I don't know, maybe I should. Because that's kind of too short. That means it would hang like that. That would be the hook. Dang it. Dang it. I mean, now's the time because I can fix this right now while this is not attached to the other one. So let's just do it. Let's be good. It's like the third time I've sewn this bit right here though. Again, it's bound, so it's pretty easy. So let's say something like that. What do we want? Maybe something like that. I think I'll go with that. I could put a knot in it. Or just sew across it. That would be fine too. There's a little like bump right here. Oh, it's the seam from the binding. That makes sense. Okay. Oh, I think Aisha asked a question earlier if we sewed all the way through one thing at a time, and no. Never. They would be done in phases. Everything would be done in phases. And we were usually doing like a chunk at once, unless it was something we could do all of, but rarely we would do the entire amount. We would kind of stage it like, say, you know, we have our cut amount for the season and we cut everything. We don't sew everything at once. We would never get it done in time to start selling. And so we would do enough to launch with the new season and then immediately cycle back and start doing everything again and then do it again. And when we would do like something like when she would sew notions cases, she would do 100 of them and she'd do them in one day. I think it was that it took me, I think, an hour to do 10. So maybe it was, oh no, stitch marker pouches. She could do 100 of those in a day. And then she could do 100 of notions cases in like a day and a half or 2 days. And this is another really interesting thing about, she doesn't even need this. One interesting thing about pricing, I love talking about pricing and no one ever wants to talk about it. But one thing I realized when selling things is I started figuring out like how much product could I make in a day and what was the retail dollar amount on that and how much profit do I make off of that, right? So 100 notions cases, it was like a day, it was more like day and a half, 2 days. And that would be like kind of leisurely for her and she'd probably prep whatever she was making next at the end of doing those. And what I realized is we could never sew more than $600 worth of product a day. So that meant we were capped unless we raised prices. And this is what I tell people when they're starting out. Like, what do you want to make per month? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, you need to put a number to that. And I think you don't want to put a number to it because you're scared you're going to cap yourself, but you won't. So I remember that I finally put myself a goal for Etsy. When I first started selling on Etsy, I wanted someday to have sold $2,000 in a month. And that was a really good motivator because it started making me realize, well, how much can I actually sew myself? This is when it was just me. $2,000 in a month is nothing. When you take out all of the materials and all the fees and your time, it's not worth it at all. It's not worth it at all. And so it was a good goal to start with, and it motivated me, and it made me look at how I manufactured and I sold things and where I put my time differently, right? It's just something. If it doesn't work for you, you can change the number, right? So when I learned that we could only sew about $600 in a day, I started noticing this was the same across whatever product I was doing. So if I could sew $600 worth of notions cases in a day, did that apply to accordions, which was a circular needle case? Did that apply to project bags? Did that apply to pocket buckets? And it pretty much did, which is kind of crazy. Not accordions. Accordions, I could sew one of those in like a half hour. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, because to do 600 of those, $600 worth of those, like what is that, 12 of them in a day? That's about right, because I had other duties, right? So, yeah, that was the disappointing thing, is when you realize there's a cap on how much you can make or sell. Now, if you're doing the math and you're like, yeah, but Saremy, 5 days times 600 a month, 600 a day times however many days there is in a month, that's a lot of money. It's not, you're not doing that every day, because some days you have to cut, and some days you have to ship, and some days you have to tag and bag and do quality control. So you're not always creating $600 worth of product to sell. So when you start getting into this kind of math, you start realizing where your limitations are, and that's when you start going, okay, what if we raise our prices on this thing, stop selling as many of this thing, and get someone else to sew these things? So anyway, okay, so here's my little center here. So now, we just need to put our little thing back here. All right, this feels so short. Why does this feel so short? But oh well, it is what it is, and it is a sample. And Julie thinks it's ugly. All right, look, it's nice and tight. I love that. You want to be able to easily loop it. I think there could be a better way to do this, but this is one of those things where I was really clever in using retired pattern hooks, which I have a lot of these still. They just die all the time. Every day one dies on me. All right, so now we can assemble everything. It's all ready to go. I'm not forgetting anything, right? Oh, the loop. We need the Velcro loop. Here it is, right here. Okay. All right, so this is, I sewed this in a really fussy way. No, they don't. And you know, I feel like I lost a friend over this last year, the year before, someone I was pretty close with, because she started a bag making business, and she wasn't a very experienced sewer, which is fine. You know, that's awesome. I'm really glad to see people doing stuff. And she would really want me to tell her, oh, I didn't need to do that. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I'm just going to cut it off and hope it's not too short. What I needed to do is this. She would often ask for advice from me, but she would like ask me late at night when I was about to like, when I was like doing my own free time stuff and I was kind of distracted, you know? And sometimes I would be like, well, what's this? Like, what's your goal? Like, how many of these can you make in a month? How long does it take you to make this? She didn't know any of that information. It's her business, right? But eventually she would ask some of the same questions again. And I think people do that because they don't like the answer, right? They don't like the answer, or they don't want to do the work. And I got kind of annoyed with this. Of course I put it with the seam right there. Can I flip it? Yeah, I can flip it. There we go. And I finally I was feeling a little bit like, you know, I'm giving you really good advice, and you're asking me at a time of day where I'm really exhausted, and you're also not doing the work. And it's not my business, but at the same time, it just felt disrespectful. So I said something, and I think I lost her as a friend. So, you know, people don't want to hear some things, I think. I have the hook at the end. Yeah, the hook is at the end. I do this weird, I don't remember how I did this. Oh, that was probably supposed to be in there. I'm going to straighten the Velcro's cut very, very wonky. But I do ask someone when they're starting a new business, the first thing I ask them is, what's your goal dollar amount for the month? All right, I give them one homework assignment, and it's not to do anything but to give them a goal, right? And to understand their own limitations so that they're not banging their head against the wall, because we all do it. And my question is, how much would you like to make per month in sales? That's different than how much you want to make, right? You would like to sell $5,000 worth of product a month. Okay, now you know your best sellers. Let's say you only have 4 products. I had like 14, and they came in 7 different fabrics, and we were always straddling a few seasons. So our SKUs, our number of things, was massive for us. And if you have like 4 products and they come in like 10 fabrics, which is a lot, that's 40 things to keep in stock. 40 things to keep in stock. Always do that math too. If you want to make $5,000 a month and you sell mostly this middle priced item, so let's say like 50% of the things you sell mostly are the middle priced item, and then 25% is the lowest price and 25% is the highest price, right? So now you have a ratio. How many would you have to sell in order to sell $5,000 worth? Here's the question. Can you sew that many a month? That's all. That's the question. That's it. That's what it all boils down to. People don't like that question. And some people don't think it's important. They're like, no, I haven't figured that out yet, but I will. Okay. When are you going to figure that out? Okay, I'm just like really trying to figure out how I used to do this. I'm also trying to slam the Velcro into itself so that you don't have as many pokies. Oh, no, I think this had to be on a, you know what? One thing I don't like about this, but one thing it kind of needs is, you see how this folds really easily? There is a gap between the two pieces of Velcro, and I just got rid of that gap just now. Do I like that? I don't know if I like that. Yeah, they're into the math verse, exactly. It's a pretty basic question, yep. And I feel like when I ask that, I am asking out of genuine 100% love. But it doesn't sound like it because nobody likes the answer, you know? And that's where you get into trouble. And that's where you get into spending so much time and money having a business that ends up being a hobby, not a real business, you know? And I hate that. Like I went through all this training, the free training. I'm going to take this out. It's bugging me. This free training through the Small Business Development Corporation. So in the United States, we have something called SBDC, a Small Business Development Corporation, and they will give free advice to small businesses. There's usually one in your community, and it's really, really good information. They do have paid stuff too. They'll assign someone to you, and then they make you kind of go through steps, and then they have free seminars. It's amazing. And I remember going through using the resources here and where I had used to live. This is why you cover all this up with the colored ribbon, because you might get all this messy stuff back here. That's what this is for. That's all it is. It's vanity ribbon. Do I go all the way into the seam? No. I still did this wrong. Shoot, dang. Why is it so complicated? Is it because I'm talking? This is supposed to be the end. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I remember when he asked me, he was like, is your business a hobby or a business? And I was so offended. And I think that as a woman, you're already super sensitive to that. And it just felt like he looked at me as like yet another person who made a cute bracelet and thinks they can now rule the world selling cute beaded bracelets. You know what I mean? Like it felt really condescending. His question was 100% valid, but he just didn't like the way I did my financial stuff. I know, right, Julie? Exactly. It's like, even me, it's hard to see what's going on here. This is the finished end, and that's the hook end. So this is okay. This is the hook end. All right. And then, you know, do we put the hook? No, we do not put the hook in there. Okay, get it. It's great. My friends went through the same SBDC center, and they had the same consultant, and he asked them the same question, and it really made them mad too. And they were doing good. Like, financially, they were doing so good for what they did, and they didn't have to manufacture anything. They were selling PDFs, and they probably had triple the business I had, and I had to carry inventory, manufacture things, order supplies. They did sell like things occasionally, but they didn't have to. It helped their sales, but that was it. And so for them alone, I was just like, dude, come on, man. It is a little disrespectful. Just because it's not a multi-million-dollar business doesn't mean it's not a real business. That's part of the problem. Look at that. Christina's being proven right. Look at all this fuzz in here, and I've just been sewing it in there. We want to give her an unadulterated hook and loop. Right? All right. I'm spending more time on this little strap than the whole bag. Let's just get this sewn together. Okay. Now we're just going to go down the whole thing. And you know, I didn't go to business school, so I don't know how to do all the like businessy financial things, you know. What were they selling? I don't really want to say because it would kind of give away who it was. I'm sorry. But they did patterns. I'll say they did patterns. Patterns, and they were doing very, very good. And there was two people who ran that business. They didn't even have a checking account. It was pretty incredible. They didn't need one. They never needed a check. I was like, what? Okay, so this goes on. No. Stop that. Okay, we have our whole bag now, right? So it goes like this. All right, so let's just sew this on here so that we're not fumbling around with it, right? We have a notch at the corner here for this little seam. I didn't even have binder clips when we made these, but these things are really handy. Wish I had. I might have used pins in the seam allowance for this, you know, so. Yeah, I wouldn't want to like give away their information, even though we're not really friends anymore. You know, whatever. Is there a notch up here? That would be kind of handy. I'm just going to tack this in the seam allowance so that I don't have to monkey around with it. And then we just need to bind the perimeter, and it's all done. It's getting a little slippery. All right, did we get this? Oh, there is a notch right here, right here. Oh, I just didn't manage to notch this side. Oh no, it's right there. Oh. Will this go above that? I don't want this to be wonky. No torquing. Right? Okay, I think that's even. Whew. Let's see. Ooh, it's looking so cute. All right, so then we have this goes like this right here. Oh, shoot, dang. That ribbon isn't meeting. Okay, like that. Okay, and then this one here goes on here. Like this. All right. This is my intention. Yes, it is. But it'll be a while. I'm almost done with the quickie, and I have wanted to release this for a few years, but then, you know, the panini happened and nobody was traveling. So I just kind of set it on the back burner. And I thought, you know, it might be kind of fun during bag making week to kind of get it out, dust it off, see where it's at, see if I can remember how to sew it together, see if it's actually something you guys would want to sew. I think all I did today really was sell binding attachments, right? I'll sell more binding attachments that I am not selling myself than I will patterns. I should someday try and this binding attachment on my Bernina home, because it would be fun to like be able to say, hey, you can get this binding attachment and it'll work on any home machine. At least you would know. Because even I get a little nervous when I'm buying. Oh my God, my zipper is like right there. Whew. Okay, we just need binding and we're done. Let's hope we have enough binding. Oh, we do. We have plenty. All right, we got everything, right? We've got it correct. It's so cute. Look at that. Little bag. Little mushrooms. There's birds too. There's a lot going on in this print. And then I didn't forget anything, right? We just needed a little bag too, and that looks good in there. This isn't wonky, right? I don't think this is wonky. Just making sure. No wonk allowed. All right, we're gonna do this from this side into the other side. We're gonna consider this the wrong side. I know, right, Terry? That is so amazing. I love my TL so much, but I definitely miss a couple of things. And one of them is this, the little automatic, not automatic, the back tack that's right here by my finger. I kind of wish they had that. And just the position of the knee lift, that kind of bugs me too. But gosh, that's kind of all that bugs me. I mean, if it had a zigzag, you know, that would be kind of nice. But it probably wouldn't sew as nice, you know, the straight stitch, so. Okay, don't want to get this cockeyed at all. One thing I learned with production sewing is I would sometimes feel like I had to like torture myself to sew something. So the original person who started sewing at, you know, with me at Chicken Boots, I wouldn't have pre-sewed this whole perimeter. Like, remember, I just did that right before I added the binding. I perimeter sewed these two layers together, got them in place, right? And I wouldn't have done that. And then when I worked with a factory and they were selling our stuff, they basically triple sewed things. You know, they would make sure. And I started really understanding the logic with that, especially if it's not a cheap item, is why torture yourself? You know, like if you have to hesitate more to sew something, like it takes you a little longer because you didn't pre-sew it, then what's the point? You might as well just pre-sew it and it'll be faster doing the next steps. And that was kind of such a good lesson for me, you know. This is the other thing, is curving these corners. The first factory I worked with, a friend owned, and she was like, why don't you curve these? Well, the sewer was like, why can't we curve this? You're gonna curve it anyway when we bind it. I was like, yeah, you're right. And so they kind of taught me how much curve to do, and then I've spent all the rest of my life trying to get my curves symmetrical corner to corner. I'm still working on it. They were a lot better at that than I was. So now we're just trimming it down. No stiffener. Oh, the quarter is so easy to cut, but it has body. Great. This hook is going to make you want to punch someone when you're sewing, though, if it's grabbing on everything. All right. Okay. This bag out of the way. pull it tight. And we'll do our last stitch. Is that too dark? Kinda, huh? I hope Cricut likes it. So next week, I have one more little thing to sew. I'm not saying goodbye quite yet, but next week I'm going to be doing all about sergers, and one day I think I'll break out the binding attachment on the cover stitch. I'm kind of on the fence about that, but you know, I know if that's helpful, we'll do it. I just don't know how many people actually have that, you know. So I think the first day is tension. I'm just going to talk about tension and getting confident about adjusting your tension and fixing things that's wrong with it. And then, oh, and I think I'll touch on rolled hems and what those are. My machine does those, so I can show you. And then, what's the next day? Hi, Tian, how's it going? Oh, that's awesome. Was it an industrial? Because the industrials are really nice, aren't they? They're so quiet. Oh, they go tick, 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 tick. Oh, so good. All right, so tension. Oh, and then the next day I think is ending the seam in your tail and doing the clean thing, because I have a video almost done on that, but then my computer won't let me finish it. We're going to do hems and the rolled hem, neck bands and cuffs, and then the knit binding. It's 4 days. Did I just say 5 topics? They were like, oh, like this one here. This one's industrial, but my Juki over there, that's just a home sewing Juki. The serger. My serger and my cover stitch are Jukis, but they're home machines, not industrial. I would get industrial, but I don't want to deal with moving around 3 industrial or a second industrial. That's nice you have a maker space though. Then you don't have to own it yourself. That's really awesome. Saves more money for fabric. I don't think everybody needs to own a serger at all. Almost done. It would be very easy to put a little pouch back here or make that a zippered pouch too. Do you think that you would need that? Should I just make that standard on the bag and then someone could leave it off? A pouch back here and maybe on the front? Or one or the other? Oh, I love this binding. I want to keep it. Oh, a clear tag spot. Oh, I'm going to write that down. That's such a good idea. Okay. Handle was too long. Too long. Elastic loop. Too long. Add clear final window. Like identifying. I could monogram it. Oh, wait, for jewelry. Wait. I have many vintage things of zigzag attachment. Oh, cool. A zigzag attachment. That's great. I got a buttonholer like that attaches to this machine, but because my machine is has the automatic back tack, it won't work with it because this thing back here interferes with the buttonholer. But it looked like it would work amazing. So, yeah, someone could monogram it. That's true. Yeah, I think this turned out really cute. The handle's not necessarily too long. Maybe it's just maybe mine is a shorter one. I'm sure mine's a sample, by the way. I know, it looks so folksy. I got this fabric at the the ASG Guild fabric sale. So probably for $1. I got it for like pocket fabric. I have a jewelry case pattern. It's in a book, actually. It's the only time I've ever been in a book. And it's a travel jewelry case. And so here's our pockets up here. Let's make sure we got it right. So we have one here, and then we have one behind it, and then this one's separate. So yeah, we were successful in doing the double decker. And then we have 2 compartments here. We have our 3 compartments there, and our little notions case here. Maybe binding on covers, okay, yeah. The binding on the cover, maybe I should do it without the binding attachment. That would be useful. Huh. This bee is really cute. She loves mushrooms. This is one of the most commercial things I've ever made, I think, too. Like designs. All right, clear vinyl window. I'm gonna do this so I remember to look at this. Clear vinyl window, I like this. Let's make sure we can read this word. What was the other thing that was the wrong length? There was something. Oh, it was these drill holes for the handle. Handle too long, or drill holes wrong. Yeah, okay. Really, Terry? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I wish this pattern was done. Cool. All right, so the last thing I have is this little pouch that goes as an accessory with it. And do I know how to sew this? I knew that would be all finished. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, man. I gotta remember how to do this. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's great. Yeah, when you start kind of breaking things down, you realize, oh, it's all just straight seams, right? Here, we'll put this with the print side up so it's not so boring to look at. Dang, I'm trying to remember how to sew this thing because we completely cleaned the seams. The only thing we used a serger on was like 3 products. I'm surprised Julie's awake. Good job, Julie. All right, so the zipper slider, oops. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay. Apparently I top stitched this. I feel like I'm about to get into a spot where I can't remember how it goes, though. Dropping. Oh, I bet. It's late, right? I think I did. Did I do this? No. You know, I didn't have very many pet peeves about other people's products. But the one pet peeve I had was the way people always did drawstring bags. It was always like the worst. I didn't understand it. They always did like such cheesy ways they did drawstring bags. Okay, did I do this actually like that? Nope, 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 nope. I knew there's a trick. We did this. So you see how I have this right sides together? So if I want these raw edges to be completely between the lining, I only hold 3 of them and put the other one back. I think that's what it is. Is that how I did it? Like this. Pretty sure we did it like this. Is that how I did it? Like that, and then, no, maybe not. I could just do this. Shoot, I really wish I could remember how to do this. Oh, I think I got it. Okay. Rand would always say that I would sit at my machine like this. She said I did it a lot, and I can sew in my head, and that's what I'm usually doing. Like, all right, I'm gonna do. Let's hope this works. I don't know if it will, but I think it will. Trying to ease this seam in so it doesn't get torqued. Okay, I'm just going to turn the corner and go a little bit and a little bit over here. Sorry, it's really dark. And then I think we turned the whole bag like this. No, this isn't how we did this, but this will work. And then I can catch part of that in there. I don't know if I need to. Checking this bag here. Oh yeah, it's separate. Okay, cool. So we just need to now edge stitch this shut. This is probably how I did this then. Edge stitch this shut. And then now all the edges, it's clean finished inside and out. And we don't have to use a serger. Always the goal. There we go. Now we have a little waterproof bag that fits inside there. Yeah, there we go. That's it. The whole set. What did I do with the bag? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's a nice little gift, right? Yeah. All right, I'm going to finish this bag since I started it this week so that it's done, because I'm going to have to do it anyway, so you don't have to stay if you don't want. But I'm going to finish this bag. I need a zipper slider, though. Let me grab one. I used them all yesterday. I'll probably give her this bag with it since it matches, too, you know? All right, how does this one go together? This was one of the rare bags we overlocked. This is on my website. This is the Notions wedgie. Okay, so now can I do this without turning it right side? I don't think so. The trick with this bag is that we did this whole long seam and this one. Trying to keep that lined up. That didn't get offset there. That makes me really nervous. We're going to hand it. Okay, I hope I got the serger in. Okay, I did. Okay. So I want it to show. Oh, good. Yeah, there's a few ways to do that bag that we would do it. I think that I did do something different because what I don't like is when lining is separate from the outer bag. I like it to be secure. I do think we stitched this to the seam here because I can feel it. See, this one feels really sturdy. Oh, it's not. Okay. Maybe I didn't. I got it. Whatever it is. All right. So now we're going to turn this bag inside out. And then I always do the corners from the right side. And this is a vinyl tip because vinyl, a lot of vinyls crack. This one doesn't crack. It's really great. But some vinyls, they will crack. And I found that if you make the corners, well, let me show you in just a second. I don't have the template here, so I'm just winging it here. So normally someone would do these little corners on the inside of the bag, and that's fine. It looks really nice. But what I found that if this was turned to the inside, that vinyl bending like that will eventually crack. You might not think it's cracked, but then if you were to take apart your bag and look, it's cracked. Oh yeah, totally. French seams are great. I think that's a really classy way to finish anything. So when I found that if I did this, and I'll be able to illustrate it better in a second, what I'm talking about. Stop rushing, Saremy. So you see how this one, it has this soft, right? Soft edge going into this bound. This is going to be a little bound end, right? Where normally this, if this were the inside, you'd have a crisp corner. That will eventually crack on almost vinyl. And it doesn't look cracked. But I remember testing a new vinyl out, and then like a few months later, I was like, oh, it's cracking. And no one believed me. And yeah, it was cracking. You just couldn't tell because the force of the crease was holding it shut there. So nothing was like getting out of the crack. Like nothing was escaping. It was pushing the crack closed, you know. I had a different binding picked out for this, so I'm kind of glad that between cutting and sewing this, I decided to do that bag there in those same fabrics. I didn't know I was going to. And then I could use this binding, and I'm like, oh good, now I can make these match. I didn't even think about using this as the binding, and even though I lined it with it. All right, I'm just tucking in my binding ends there. There we go. I had kind of a cool binding picked out. It was this one here. Oof, so bright, but it would have worked. So bright, sorry. All right, this is the little Notions wedgie. The clear bottom. This showcases fabric so nicely. Let me take down the brightness a little bit. We have like a look at this nice little set I have for her. Maybe I should wait till Christmas. I'll just tell her I never made it. I feel like I need to make a set for her girlfriend now. I'm gonna feel bad. Oh, this turned out cute. I love this. Well, thanks you guys. Thanks for letting me test sew my old pattern. I got some good insight. If you guys think of anything about this, let me know. What would make you want to sew it? You know? Oh, you did, Terry? I think you're right, right? I know. I was wondering, maybe I told her, I said, do you want this? Or, you know, I could make it for your girlfriend. She was like, I love one. So, yeah. It looks, it's like some of the nice, it's one of the nicest things I've sewn in years. Oh, man. Oh, I mean, like the fabric coordination, everything worked out, you know. Sometimes it just goes the Becky Homeki route, and it's like a barreling train and you can't stop it. No, thank you guys. No, I know this, I don't know what you would get out of this stream. I was just wanting to test sew it. I thought, okay, it's bag making. We'll do some bag making. I'll test sew it. So I'm off to play with my new computer now. And next week I will be here for Serger stuff. And let's see, it is not that. Dang it. I'm gonna replace this. Just a second. Looks like I can replace this while I'm live. That's awesome. We love that for me. Oh, do I not have the, oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Can I find it? Can I find it? I did. There we go. Done. All right, so it's Serger week. Look at all these streams we did this month. Good night, Julie. Sleep well. Have a good weekend. I'm trying to make this bigger, but I can't grab it. There we go. So it's this last row. So getting tension and rolled hems is on Tuesday. I put the rolled hems there just because it is a quick setting to do. Wednesday is serger tails and seam ends. So I'm going to show you a method, like say you want to serge a fly and you don't like the messiness at the bottom. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Neck bands and cuffs so that you can confidently serge those on. And then binding on Friday. And that's the last day of May. I made it. Almost. I've almost made it. So that's our last week of Let's Make May. There we go. And then the crazy thing is, if I keep to my stream schedule, I have to stream the next week after this one, after next. So I think I'll do the Taya dress by Pattern Fantastique. I think that's what it's called. Heart sent it to us, and it's really cute. And it's summery, and they have a new hemp fabric that's dreamy. So I have a whole project sitting here. So we'll see. But I need to work on the quickie. So anyway, All right, guys. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Have a great long weekend if you're in the United States. And yeah, you do want. Yeah, I've been working on my method, Terry. I've been working on it, and I love doing it now. It took me like a year to get. I mean, I wasn't like serging all the time, but yeah, it's good. It makes it look really nice. If I had a picture here, I'd show you, but I don't. Sorry. You need a method. I know, right? I did too. I hate messy tails, and that's the thing is like my old serger gave me a nice neat tail. My current one, it's fine, but it doesn't do the lock stitch, so it kind of just goes. So anyway, all right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye. Not me. Wrong. Sorry. Bye.